2016 thus far has seen the dancehall space erupt in lyrical battles. Demarco made an entrance earlier this year with Popcorn and Movado. People have seen his skill set and are now wondering, what is happening? Why is Demarco so underrated? Hello, and welcome to another episode of Carib Fusion TV. As mentioned in the outset, today we're going to speak about Demarco and his career progression so far. Now, recently he has gained a lot of attention, especially because of working with Vybz Kartel a little bit more. People are now beginning to wonder, with his skill set and the amount of things that he's been doing behind the scenes, why is it that he's not getting the attention and the credit that most people believe that he deserves? So in this video, that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to find out what are the factors, what are the things that are holding him back. And this video will potentially be quite long, so I will put it into two parts. So let's get into it. Before I start to break things down, just a bit of background information on Demarco. Demarco has been on the scene for 13 years. So in 2003, he's been around. And when I talk about been around, he's been around since the days of MySpace. He still has a MySpace account. That's how long he's been around. He's also a singer, songwriter, beat maker, producer, videographer, TV show specialist. He's basically been doing a lot, very entrepreneurial. As far as music and making beats, one of his most known song is Fallen Soldier, I Love My Life, and a few other songs. Demarco has been respected in the game for a long time with his beat making abilities. He's made songs, or beats I should say, for people like Bounty Killer, Elephant Man, Tony Matterhorn. He even did a remix with Rihanna, Rude Boy, when she first came out with her first album. He's been around for a while. On top of his beat making skills, I mean, his catalog, when you look into it, it's vast. I think it was something like over 200 different beats and songs that he's responsible for, but doesn't seem to get the credit for it. As far as touring, he tours extensively. He seems to have a stronghold in Africa, you know, Zimbabwe, Tunisia, Uganda. They love his music, and I can kind of understand why, because his music has a slight Afrobeat kind of tone to it. So yeah, people from West Africa and so forth would love his music. Also, Europe loves him as well. As far as awards and accolades, he's won a few. Demarco's single Good Book, which came out in 2013, he actually won male or best male DJ for 2013 in Britain. He also won Urban Music Award for best Reggae Act in 2013 and 2014. So he has a few under his belt. And as far as work and how he produces his work, he has his own production company, which is True Gift Entertainment, where he does TV program. He produces all of his own videos, all of his own beats. He has an artist, Raytid, signed to him. So he is very much self-sufficient. He doesn't actually have to outsource any of his work if he doesn't want to. He makes his beats, he writes his songs, and his production team does the videos. So actually that's very rare. In fact, I don't think there's any artist currently that is doing that. I can go on and on and on, but I actually do think that there's so much to cover. I think for his catalog and what he's done so far, you just need to look up the rest of the information yourself. So let's move on to why is he so underrated if things are so good. Number 1. Everyone knows in dancehall that there is a certain level of hierarchy, and unless you're a part of the major 2 or perhaps the major 3 alliances within the dancehall space, unfortunately your work will get overlooked. And as I mentioned in the beginning, that Demarco is again one of the few artists who isn't actually in allegiance with anyone. He is self-sufficient. He doesn't actually need anyone to produce his beats or do anything like that. In recent times though, he has been spending more time with Vybz Kartel. I think he has 2 songs on Vybz Kartel's album, and that is where we're beginning to see more of Demarco, you know, getting some attention and some credit. Number 2, his image. We have seen Demarco drastically change his image over the last few years. I mean, when he first came on the scene 13 years ago, you know, he was kind of the pea coat wearing, you know, darkers and an army cut, singing, you know, feel good songs like I Love My Life and Fallen Soldier. And he had kind of, you know, the older to, you know, kind of the, I don't know, I guess the rock steady people, if you want to call it that. And he kind of had that kind of group of people that, you know, was working with. But then in 2013 he changed up his image. You know, he kind of looked a little bit lighter. He grew a beard and bleached his hair, loads of tattoo, and then his songs became a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more harder, more hardcore, and I don't think his fans made the transition with him. So currently he's doing more hardcore stuff and appealing to a younger audience. So by all accounts, the people who he used to sing with, I don't think, or sing for, I don't think they made the transition with him. I think his fans are still in the I Love My Life stage, and he's now creating a new fan base, which could explain the reason why he is, again, quote unquote, being underrated. It's because actually he's making a new change and therefore tapping into an audience that he didn't actually have before. Number 3, Demarco does not have a studio album. Now, this came as a surprise to me. 13 years in the business, and actually he does not have an album, which actually, if you, I mean, I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but if you want to be taken seriously, and I mean absolutely seriously, in the music game, it doesn't matter the amount of singles you have. If you don't have a compilation of everything that you're doing, or even the best snapshots of what you're doing with your music, then it will go unnoticed. And I think not having an album after 13 years in the business is not a good look. Considering how much he's done and how much beats he has and how much music he's produced over the last 13 years, it's quite surprising that actually no one around him has said to him, look, you need an album and you need one fast. I mean, even now, he wouldn't even need to make new music. He could literally do a deluxe album with all the music that he has now, and still have extra leave over, and it would sell. So that's one of the things. If you want people to rate your music, rate your art, you have to rate it first by saying, look, this is the best of what I can produce. And you know, I hope in 2017 he has an album ready to be launched. So that's it. You've reached the end of part 1. Please join me in part 2, where we will speak about his TV show, Talk Your Mind.